Hey guys, so I guess the saying third time's a charm applies in this case. I'm going to do another one of these Endmill holders. This time around, this end's supposed to be a JT3, not a JT2. So I'll make a new one of those and show you the progress on that. I think this is out of 1 1/4 inch material. Oh, it shouldn't rock on there. That's odd. Some debris on the bottom. Anyways, I digress here. This one's out of 1 1/4 inch material. I'm going to try and make it out of 1 inch material, and we'll see if it's solid enough. I think it should be. There should be minimum 1/4 inch walls, so it shouldn't be a problem. But in any case, I'm going to get to it, and I'll show you guys what I do. Well, I decided to go with the 1 1/2 inch stock. I didn't have any 1 1/4, and the one would have been 1 inch would have been too small. So I faced off both ends. It doesn't look too beautiful on this end, but it will be fine. So I'm gonna take this out of the chuck, put my centers in, and then I'm gonna put this in there. That's my JT3 taper on this end right here. As you can see, it's actually quite large. It's a little more than 3/4 inch at this end here. So even if I would have used a 1 inch stock, I would have had, like probably less than 100 thou around that edge on the end of the end mill. So 1 1/4 inch round stock would have been handy, but I didn't have any. Not in steel, anyways. I think I got some aluminum, but that wouldn't have been very good. Anyways, I'm not going to show any action shots of this stuff. I'll just show you the results. This will go fairly quickly. Editing that other video I did where I did show a whole bunch of different shots took forever to edit, so I'm not going to do that again for a while. Anyways, let's get this doing something for us. Okay, so I set up the JT3 taper between centers here, and I've been running my dial indicator back and forth across it using the compound, and I've gotten to the point where I'm probably no more than half a thou out on the taper for the entire sweep of the length of the taper. So I'm going to say that's pretty damn good. I don't think I could do much better. I tightened up the gibs on this from last time so that there's not the same looseness that there was before. I was seeing about a thou of looseness in that before, but now I'm not seeing hardly anything. It's a little tighter though, but I'd take it apart and clean it all up as well. So anyway, so next step, I'll drill it out. Well, I'll mount this thing back in, put the chuck back on, mount this thing up. I'll leave the compound where it is because it's not that far off that it's going to be really inconvenient for if I want to take any deep cuts there, And what I'll do is drill that out to as close as I can get to my maximum size. I'll probably use some of those step drills I've got lying around here somewhere, and then from there I'll drill it all the way through, but I won't drill it to finish size. And then I'll cut the taper, flip it around, and finish drilling and boring the other side for the end mill. As I recall, Tom from Tom's Wonderful World, he's a very experienced machinist, and he was offering some suggestions that I turn the outside of this to bring it to a concentric diameter here. But this is actually pretty good round stock. I did put a dial indicator on this when I was facing it to see how much run out I had, and it was actually very, very close. So I'm not going to worry about turning the outside, and I'll work with doing the boring. Unfortunately, like I said, I have to de-chuck it and re-chuck it. If I had a 3-inch long boring bar, I would do it all from the one side, from the taper side. But I don't have any that are that long that would fit in a 1/2-inch bore. Anyways, let's get to it. Okay, before I bored out this end, I figured I'd check again for concentricity, or that it was actually centered in the lathe chuck is really what I was checking for. I'm assuming the round stock is concentric or is round. But nevertheless, I was only seeing about 3/4 of a thousandth of an inch of run out, which I think is, more than I can expect to achieve in terms of accuracy. So I'm not going to worry about that not being, that last little bit there. I just simply don't have the machinery or the tools to get any greater precision, I don't think. So what I'm going to do now, I'll step drill this end because where did I put that thing? Because this thing is such a large size, I believe I'm not going to have any problem roughing it out with one of these step drills here. Yeah, I got a whole horde of them. I really need to organize my stuff a little better. Something like that one. Yeah, it goes up to 3/4, and as I recall, that was the large end of the taper here. It was 7 or it was about 0.8 of an inch. So even if I took it all the way in, I'm not going to rough that out to a point where it's going to be bigger than what I want it to be. So let's do that and get something going here. Okay, so I center drilled this and then I step drilled it. I didn't take it to the 3/4 inch level because it did occur to me that whereas this end of this taper was 0.8 of an inch, it wouldn't have to go that far in before it was less than 3/4 of an inch. So I'll leave that at that. I'll drill this all the way through just with a regular drill bit. Open that up to probably, I'll have to figure out what the magic number is. Probably somewhere, around 1/8 of an inch below. I guess that's 3/8 of an inch then. But I'll have to see if that will fit the boring bar I've got here. As I recall, it was very, very close to needing a 1/2 inch hole there. So we'll work it out. I'll use that to take it to within a few thou of 1/2 inch, and then I'll try one of the 1/2 inch reamers. One of the things that Tom mentioned that I did last time was I was trying to make the reamer take too much material off, and because of that it cuts oversize. So I'll try and take it, like I said, to within a few thou, and then leave the reamer to take as little as possible out. I may be able to do all the operations from the side, but I don't think so. I don't think I've got a boring bar that would fit down there. Okay, so I've drilled this out to 15-30 seconds. That leaves me about 31 thou to take out with the boring bar and reamer, and that should be enough. If it's not, the drill didn't exactly follow concentrically, I think it'll be enough to take bring concentric, but I'm going to have to turn that around and check it. So what I'm going to do now, before I do that, is I'm going to do this end, which is of course our JT2 taper, and I've got, like I said, my compound already set to go. I just have to turn this so that the boring bar will be sitting parallel to the axis of rotation, and I think I'm good to bring that in there. Okay, so I got the taper at this end cut, reasonably decent surface finish. I turned up the speed for the last few cuts, and that's my JT3. And I actually did put it in here and I ran it, and I didn't see any visible wobble, but if I want to be precise, I can put the test indicator on here and see if I see any run out at the tip here. It'll be obviously exaggerated, but I think it's pretty good. So now what I'll do is I'll turn this around, chuck it, indicate off the outside, because like I said, the outside, I've been doing everything concentric to the outside, and bore that out to that end out to 1/2 inch. Then I can cut my chamfer on the end and drill my 3 set screws in, and this one's done. It's going quicker every time. Okay, I didn't end up using a reamer. I just ended up doing it all with a boring bar because I got it so close to the finished size anyways. Pretty good in there. Just a little bit of play. I've been measuring it with my telescoping gauge, and it's well, according to it, it's like about 2 thou under. And I think these shanks, I seem to remember saying last time that they were a little undersized, so I think that's why there's a little bit of play there. So I'm not going to do anything more with it. I'll measure it one more time, but other than that, I think I'll just chamfer the end off of this, or chamfer the end of this, and then I'll put my set screws in and then I'm done. There you go, done like dinner. And TWR. There you go. I don't think that focused very well. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. I'll send this off on Monday. And you can see it's actually a fair bit bigger than the old one. I had to make it a little bit longer. I probably didn't have to make it a little bit longer. Hopefully that won't end up being a problem, but because that larger taper is actually a fair bit deeper. So anyways, so that's it for today. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to finish up my little CNC plasma electronics again, and maybe I'll get to test it again. But I think finally I'm going to get back to another project. I'm going to at least order some parts for this guy here to finish up under the hood, and then I can get back at this one and maybe have something running fairly soon. Later, guys.